And if you can go live on our page, that would be awesome.
Islam.
Let me get my eyes cleaned up. We had a good little quick morning blast workout, man, this morning. Little quick 30.
Islam.
This teaching gonna be, like I said, when you want a teacher, we teach over and over and repetitiously. A lot of times when you study, you may miss some stuff. That's why we say when we study and we think we know, study some more. Get your pen.
But a book philosophy said, you learn. Repetition is how you learn.
That's right. Repetition is how you learn, Morris. Islam.
Islam.
So let's I'll wait to see if anybody can put that up. You got it, Noble? If not, I can I have it myself, but I wanted to share it so we all can, read together.
If you needed me to pull it up, you have to post, but I can pull the book up and log up on all of them.
Okay, give me 1 second, Noble. Where you at? Where you at? Oh, there you go. All right, I made you co-host, Noble.
Islam.
We're gonna jump into this science, man. This is gonna be liberating, as they say. Very simple, because law governs all events. Islam, y'all?
Islam.
Law governs all events. And we must be correct on everything that we do. So I'll give it a second while everybody get that set up for me. Yep, let's do our Morris American. Peace, nobles. Peace to all my nobles. I love y'all, man. Like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it. I love you. Love is an action word. And we going somewhere, man. That's what this is about. No stagnation, self-preservation. Understand that. So let's do our Morris American prayer first, nobles. And let's jump into science. Solomon, you want to do the Morris American prayer, noble, please?
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Alakim, Ayah Ashaya, Islam, peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace. Peace, peace, Solomon, Alonzo, all my brothers of the Silent Brotherhood of the East. I come to you in peace and love and much, much gratitude. Much, much gratitude. So let's jump in this, man. Like I said, law governs all events. And like I said, today we running an audible. We were going to go over our chapter 3 and 4 of our Moorish Quran and our Quranic study guide, but we're gonna hold that play for Sunday school tomorrow because I think it's very imperative. So with that being said, let's go over the teachings. Can we proceed? Can we go up on the page, please, so we can start narrating this? Go slow, yeah. Take your time, Noble. Go back down. Show the picture. Show the symbology first. Show the symbology. Let's look at what we're looking at. Go ahead. Keep going. We give honors to all the laws and prophets. This ain't no Crips and Bloods. This ain't no Crips and Bloods. I don't know what these brothers on. We respect all the laws and prophets in the flesh, and that's gone. How can a man say he loved God he never seen, but he hates man that's in the station of the great Allah within? See, that don't make sense. How I'm gonna say I'm a...
It was in our studies too, though.
I know. Come on, that's why I said no, but we know when people don't study, when they set tripping. Oh, so you don't.
Said, who was Noble Drew Ali, and the Quran explained it very eloquently.
Very eloquently. So let's jump into science. Law governs all events. The upper echelons, the hierarchical system of law. Book 1. See, I just jumped in book 1. We got book 2, the holy dream of history. Book 3, seek thee first, the kingdom of heaven. The 7-book compilation. See, all this stuff more should read and understand to get a clear understanding. When we talk about gathering and compiling and divinely preparing, there's nothing new under the sun. It never was a time when man was not. Or you think these, you know the word I want to use, that fell out of heaven and they brilliant, so they're not going to give the credit to the study and to the application. See, that don't even make sense, nobles. That don't even make sense. Like we operate on some magical. If that's the case, come on, nobles. So proceed up a little bit more, man. If we talk about anything, if we're going to talk about any story, the prophet traveled to the Mediterraneans, teaching, illuminating the scriptures, right?
Yep.
Okay. So all praises are due to Allah. Man, remember I told y'all, nobles, no disrespect again, but the European will be here long enough to teach you and tell you and give credit to your prophet, and we be the only ones disrespecting our own. Watch this. I'm finna show y'all this document. Look at y'all, see this document right here, nobles? Watch this. I'm finna read it to y'all. I went over this before. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I went over it before. I'm gonna read it. The secret path. I'm gonna just touch on something. Sufi mystics and the spiritual quest. God brings upon those who love him, her, whatever you want to call it. Just listen to the teachings. Please stay in context. A kind of sudden and supernatural madness. Religions began with a group of radical Gnostics, mystics, and end up as a authoritarian institutions dominated by liberalists. This is what a European saying, Timothy Freak and Peter Gandhi. Listen what they say. Islam, the religion of peace. When we say peace, 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 peace. It's consistently linked by the mass media with images of war and conflict, all the misnomers. But for just as there is an inner side to Christianity and Judaism, so there is to Islam. Think about this. This subterranean tradition has always acted and counterbalanced the forces of dogmatism and dry formalisms, constituting the inner core of Islam. The inner core of Islam. It has been celebrated by the greatest Muslim poets and sages from Al-Haji and Ibn Arabi and Kermani and Rumi and Hafiz. Don't we say this? Just like an IDMR when I say you must know all the Gnostic scriptures. You must study that so you don't be gravitated to one science and where you miss the essence of the rest. When we get into true the triple rows of the adapt chamber, you must understand all those religious rites per se. The Paraclete, right? The Fatimid, right? The Judaism, the Christianity. Come on, man. This is an understanding. This ain't Crips and Bloods. This ain't no Paru and no Izzy. Come on. Real talk. Do not attach yourself to any particular creed exclusively so that you disbelieve all the rest. That sound familiar, don't it? Listen how the synonyms or how what they say is synonymous to our teachings when we talk about universal law. Otherwise, you will miss much that is good. Indeed, you will fail to see the real truth. God, Allah, whatever you want to call it, the omnipotent, the omnipresent, is not contained by any one creed. For it says in the Quran, wherever you turn, there is the face of Allah. Why? Because Allah is in your heart, right or wrong?
Islam.
Okay. The mysticism or the esotericism called the Arabic tasawwuf or the tasawwuf of Islam is today identified with the Sufis, a word commonly thought to come from the Arabic suf, the suf, meaning wool. after the rough woolen robe worn by the Muslim mystics. Listen to this. I'm highlighting something. We're going to jump right back into teachings. And everybody should be like, Islam, amen, whatever you want to say. Watch this. Watch this, y'all. In the days of the Prophet Muhammad, there was no sharp distinction between the esoteric and the exoteric teachings of Islam. The Prophet instructed his inner circle, known as the companions, in both the esoteric, which is desire, and the outer, or the apparent, which you get in here, the esoteric and the exoteric. And the esoteric is the batin. That's the inner, or the so-called secret, but we know ain't nothing secret. We teaching the sacred meanings of the revelations that we receive from the great God Allah within man. Although Prophet Muhammad, as the last of the messengers of God in that dispensation, was the repository of a complete treasure of precepts, that manifestation proclaimed only some of them publicly, leaving the rest undeclared. But watch this, y'all. A Sufi tradition relates how the seeds of Sufism were sown in the time of Adam, fermented in the time of Noah, budded in the time of Abram, and began to develop in the times of Jesus, which is never with a J in the Hebrew dialect, so we say Yeshua, and produced pure wine in the time of Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad and Jesus are revered as the greatest Sufis when you get to a clear understanding. Sufi masters like Ibn Arabi and Swardi study the Europeans, but the Europeans, no disrespect, the Albions traded like their teachers to tell you where they got the science from. And that's what I'm getting ready. Say what, Nova? Oh, and that's where I'm getting ready to highlight. That's what I'm getting ready to highlight. Watch this. I hear some echoing. You ready? I looked for him on the Christian cross, but he was not there. I went to the Hindu temples and shrines, but nothing. I visited the Kaaba in Mecca. I did not find it. I questioned learned scholars, but he outstripped their understanding. Finally, and only finally, when I peered into my own heart, there and nowhere else was his home. Why? Because the closest place to find Allah is where?
In the heart.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now watch how we set this highlight. The initiatic journey to the Islamic soil has been a repeated theme of European esotericism. Ever since the Templars settled in Jerusalem and the mythical Christian Rosicrucians, learned the trade in Damkar, aka Damascus. When you research the life of Pericletus and Cagliostro, and they travel, it's become easier. And then you research what everybody be stuck at P.V. Randolph, H.P. Blavinsky, Max Theon, G.I. Grugef, Aleister Crowley, Renee Genon, R.A. Swaller, D. Lubitz, and Henry Corbin. Now listen to this. There was very likely some element of this in Napoleon's Egyptian campaign in 1797, when he announced to an astounded audience that he too was a Muslim, then returned to Paris to convene the Jewish Sanhedrin and to reinstate Christian clergy. Now watch this, y'all. In Egypt during the mid-1800s, Madame Blavatsky studied Sufism, Coptic Christianity, and the Druids order, which she described as a last surviving of the archaic wisdom, claiming to be a student of her master, Serapis Bey. Who is Serapis Bey, y'all? Huh?
Probably.
Okay. Now watch me finna trump all this stuff. While in Cairo. Didn't say while in Europe. While in Cairo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Madame Blavatsky met Jamal ad-Din al-Afghani, an outstanding Muslim thinker, etc. But I want to go down to the good part, y'all. You got Rawson was one of the founders, so-called, of the Nobic Mystic Shrine, but we trumped that in our teachings that the Nation of Islam had. We showed y'all who came up with that before the Europeans. Check. Islam. Okay, now come on, y'all. We got the documents to prove what history. They call it a secret society, incorporated principles and symbols drawn from the Islamic mysticism. He wrote about Gnosticism and called for a new church of humanity that should be broad and comprehensive, embracing many diverse elements and working together for the common good. See, y'all don't know a lot of people came to the Americas under our prophet Noble Drew Ali. When you read Silent Brotherhood, when you read Sacred Drift by Peter Lambert Wilson, aka Hakeem Bey. Islam? Okay. So when they talk about George Ivanovich Grudem, all these Europeans that study in Asia and all these areas, the teachers of Grudem, Hakeem Sanadi's book influenced Grudem's own writings. And one of Grudem's prominent students, J.G. Bennett, believed the origin of Grudem's system can be traced to the Sufis of Central Asia. Just like when I tell y'all Albert Churchward, the European that wrote Signs and Symbols of the Primordial Man, and all those Masonic books, y'all got to cross-reference and see who he was studying under. Or more, and get with the history. So listen to this, y'all, and we jump right back into the teachings. This should make you feel good. While many people are familiar with Madam H.P. Blavatsky and G.I. Grudem of the mystic teacher, who was credited with laying the foundation for the spread of Islam among misnomer Black Americans. Who y'all think they're talking about? Huh? Okay, let's talk about it. Early in the 20th century, Drew Ali, born Timothy Drew, the self-taught son of so-called former slave, took a job and found himself in Egypt. This is their story. According to one legend, Noble Drew Ali tried to instruct Black Americans in Islam. Don't y'all, how you can get computers for dummies? Y'all, like you can go to Barnes & Nobles and get a book called People that our own brothers that call themselves heavy, they talk about no disrespect to European, and they just tell you. While many people are familiar with Madam H.P. Blavatsky and G.I. Grudem, few are aware of the mystic teacher who is credited with laying the foundation for the spread of Islam among Black people. If the European know this, your people know it. I showed y'all this. No disrespect to nobody religion. Man, Farrakhan gave credit to Noble Drew Ali on Founders Day. They wore the fez. Then I showed y'all supposed to be Elijah Muhammad's or Elijah Poole Bay's brother talk about the first time I saw the fez is when watch it. Well, listen, when you do research, you have to analyze and listen to things. It's double talk because come on. We know the first time you saw the feds on the Asiatics was the prophet, not from nobody else. The prophet was before all of them. Look at the time periods.
Islam.
That's what I wanted to keep in our hippocampus. I'm not even going to go on all that, but I wanted to show you how the European give credit to our prophet. Peter Moon give credit to our prophet. We're the only group of people that are trying to destroy people. We all have a past. We all been through the fire. What is resurrection all about? Damn, Malcolm X was sweet red at one point, wasn't he? Wasn't he a con artist?
Con artist.
All right then. So what's wrong with these goofy Negroes, man?
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, checkmate. Go sit down somewhere. So, highest honors due to Allah. Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to the Moorish Americans, the Muslim, and the Asiatics in this new era of time. Those on the path. And honors to all nationalities and nations, praising the great God under their own vine and fig tree, and honors to whom honor is due. I don't care what nobody honor. I'm telling you what I'm under. I don't have no time of trying to convert. This ain't no conversion. This is a resurrection. My people know my voice. Come on. The essence of law. There is but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. That's in your Moorish Quran, y'all, 35 chapter verse starting in the beginning. He hath instituted laws for the government of the world. He hath wonderfully varied them in all beings, and each by his nature, conform to his will. This is in your Moorish Quran. This is in the Moorish Quran, right, Morris?
Yes.
Okay.
Islam.
Okay. As a Moorish American, we are instructed to do what? Know thyself and Allah. This is the law. This is the. So when we say when you see the emphasis and you see the parentheses on that, see it's making special. You got to pay special attention to this. Am I saying something foreign or am I teaching? Okay. Okay. So and it's in caps. The T is in caps. The L in parentheses. You must pay special attention to this. The science of more science, also known as the knowledge of self, or the path, or the way, or the life. The accomplishment, such a lofty idea, is to be on that path. That is the Islamism, or the peace, the divine instructions for all Muslims. Peace with God, peace with man, peace with nature, peace with the one surrounding for a simplified understanding. And as a grand sheikh, meaning one proficient in the degrees of law to understand the way, so as forth instruct and be of service to one, brothers and sisters and others on the path. Thus said, it is understood. The way is life, and life is the path of the law. And deeper still, nobles, being the very law, one comes to manifest. So all law is established in truth, which is the holy breath, which is the Ard, which is the Allah, which is the all law, the Allah. The H is in quotations, the W have one. You got to see what this stuff means. Truth is that which changes not. In divine instructions for man, it is understood that, and I quote Moores, in all the world, there are two things. One is truth, the other is falsehood. And falsehood is that which seems to be true. Now, truth is aught and has no cause. Think about that. And yet it is the cause of everything. What you say, Noble?
I was saying what you just said.
Islam, Noble. Islam. Anytime you want to speak, speak, Noble. We in class. This what save us. Falsehood is not, and yet it is the manifest of right. And whatever has been made will be unmade. That which began must end. It's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 7. Remember, we talk about commercial law in a nutshell. After reading all these chapters, 1, 2, 3, you should be able to explain, if you are able to see, why the above quote explains the commercial law process. See, that's what I be telling more. And they out here playing.
Say that one more time.
You said Noble.
Say it one more time. What you said explains the commercial law.
No, you said. I want to hear you tell them, Noble.
I like your choice of words. You teach it. I'm a student.
No, I ain't. I'm just a master student. I'm just a master student. Noble. But for real, commercial law in a nutshell, when you read these chapters 1, 2, and 3, you should be able to explain, if you are able to see what these above quotations are. When we talk about the commercial law process, this stuff is elementary, my dear friend. When we talk about gathered and compiled and divinely prepared, we talk about universal law, things that can be proven. When we talk about fire, earth, air, river, the essence, more science ain't no religion. So man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed. How? Because we have the spirit in us and we in the flesh. That's why. Man is breath made flesh. So truth and falsehood are conjoined in us, and they thrive, and not goes down. And man, as truth, abides. It's in your Moorish Quran again, 7 and 13. Speaking, when it says speaking public minister, day star from on high, aka Jesus the Christ. I don't know what people be reading. I know they don't, but that ain't our problem. In the light of the above, the law is the unshakable pillars of truth, dispelling the darkness of falsehood, revealing the light to settle in peace. See, when that light get the beaming on somebody, woo, and they drunk in a stupor, man, they be like, man, this light too bright. This light too bright. It's like, no, you intoxicated. You got to know how to accept the sun. Laws for civilized governments, the religion, science, philosophy are grown out of this force of nature and its natural development, constituted by a prophet of Allah, once sent to deliver the law and appoint those faithful to the truth, aka trustees. Because how you gonna be a trustee over something and it ain't nothing to trust? You should be how can I say, a holder of the truth, and the truth will make you free. 1 Thessalonians 5:21, prove all things, not some things, all things. So if you come to me like a master of something, prove all things and hold fast to what is good. Why are you mad when somebody cut your head off with the scimitar of truth and you come in unprepared?
That's the lower self item.
Point blank. And you know you coming unprepared. And that's what I tell people. I said, look, your people are coming to you with junk.
Yeah, that's the devil in you.
Real talk. It's the same analogy, taking apples off the ground to give. Man, you don't got to give me a whole bunch of barrels of trash. You don't understand this, because what you give me, I'm going to break it off with you and the family. We're going to spread this. That's what a Buddha does. Gather and compile, and we spread it amongst us, and we become a rich nation. That's what this is about with me. In essence, all true and divine laws come from Allah and due to the divine nature of Allah. The laws from Allah to man are to guide, to instruct to a perfect state of being, or being peace itself, or being peace itself, or being peace itself. It is the heed and the need for civilized man to develop ways and paths to better comprehend true law, or the force more comprehensively understood the will of Allah, and institute civilizations that harmonize with that will. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, that's what we're here for. The Kingdom of Heaven, a religious body politic, a divine nation state. Let's go to chapter 1. Come on, we got time. We only 30 minutes in. We only gonna go for an hour and we out of here. Y'all want me to keep going, or somebody else want to read?
I'm happy to read.
Go ahead, my noble.
In the development of civilization, I'll start with the title chapter. Chapter 1, the upper echelons hierarchical system of law. In the development of civilization, the will of Allah, love, truth, the law, is the law of all laws, the first law. Its second expression in the picking order of law is natural law. Natural law is existent as it is, being what is, functions as it functions according to the laws which make it what it is. So natural law is, quote unquote, given truth. It is the constancies that make existence able to be what it is at all. The science of epistemology teaches us that every age there is a milestone in the journey of the human race. And these milestones are developed through government, i.e. the people, in harmony with, quote unquote, the law. We call these times golden ages. We have science, philosophies, and medicine, and we apply the law to these expressions of civilization, and we all presuppose in these expressions that we are discovering and learning and being able to apply something that already pre-exists. Natural law is, quote unquote, given truth.
Islam.
So, if I may interject, that word you spoke about, they read over epistemology.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody know what that word is embodying?
Break it down, Noble.
So I have the definition here of epistemology, which it says that epistemology is the theory of knowledge, especially with regard to its methods, validity, and scope. Epistemology is the investigation of what distinguishes justified belief from opinion.
Investigation.
So, number one over that. Investigation is distinguishes. So that's why the epistemology, the science is in that it distinguishes justified belief, or therefore proof of what actually exists over mere opinion. Islam?
Islam.
No longer is belief after that, correct?
I didn't hear you know what you say.
I said once you do that investigation and it's justified belief, it no longer is belief anymore. It's because now you know.
It's no longer opinion. It comes now. Islam.
And that's when we get into that subjective and objective, and we get into the mathematics when we talk about applied mathematics.
Islam.
Islam, man. Y'all so smart.
You want me to continue?
Absolutely, Noble.
Okay. When, quote unquote, the law begins to emerge in human consciousness through observation and application of natural law, thought, thinking, words, deeds, or actions in the natural order of evolution, you have what is the most fundamental of all human laws. The most fundamental of all human laws is the law of economics, commercial law.
The law of what?
Economics.
Law of economics.
Say it again.
The law of economics.
So when and I gotta say this, man, because when these more come with all that poor stuff, oh, fiat this, and I say, dude, where you got a phone? Yep, who paying it? You got on clothes? Who bought it? All that goofy stuff, and then they turn around and tell you to invest in Bitcoin. How you gonna buy the Bitcoin with what? With what? With what? What is Bitcoin backed by? Nothing. Come on, man. So why is somebody telling you to be poor and broke? Why that don't even make sense. We're supposed to use our economics to do what? To barter and build our own infrastructure. Man, we ain't trading rice. We ain't trading rice. If we can, come on, man. Proceed, Noble.
Commercial law is the third law. It has to do with human survival, with human interactions of any kind, any relationship, buying, selling, trading, or relating in any way, which gave rise to the fourth law, moral law of the family. Definition of moral law, a general rule of right living, especially such a rule or group of rules conceived as universal and unchanging, and as having the sanction of God, Allah's will, of conscience, of man's moral nature, or of natural justice as revealed to human reason. Next, which is overlooked in most societies when understanding the applications of laws in its root order, is the law of family, or the law of nations, or the law of one's forefathers, the law of one's vine and fig tree, which gave rise to the nation, i.e. state or government laws to protect the family members against any other people, nation, or another family member. The law of nation or international law may be defined as the body of rules and principles of action which are binding upon civilized states in their relation with one another. Another way of seeing this is nationality is the order of the day. So, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So part of what I think maybe we don't quite understand, I maybe took me a while to understand when it comes to nationality is the order of the day, is in looking at your own vine and fig tree as your own family. And without having, and then looking at the international laws as laws that help govern family disagreements. And when you think about family disagreements, it's from family to family or from nation to nation.
Mm-hmm.
And so by not being under a vine and fig tree, you now have no, as they say, a remedy or any sort of protection against other family members, i.e. other nations, i.e. other nationalities, i.e. other governments, i.e. other states, i.e. other,
Hey, Noble.
Am I correct in understanding?
You correct, because look, Noble. Now let's do some check, because all this stuff when they be talking about the secret treaty of Verona, how the world is under the Pope and all this. Okay, so if you a regular so-called citizen and you're not under a tribe and all that, you willingly, as a willing obligor, fall under that category, because the religious laws protect you. I hope I'm saying something valid.
Islam.
The religious rights of the indigenous people. Look at this. Like, we doing everything right. We're like, on paper, everything we do, we have the right to do it. Nothing that we doing is fraudulent. We have the right to do everything that everybody else is doing. We are a people too, under a religious body. And the religious laws come first. How, when you talk about saying who you are, that's coming out the mouth, proclaiming. We have the right to do this.
And to come together.
Yes.
It's the coming together is the key, Noble, because that whole science of a vine is its connections. Vines do not just live arbitrarily. You know what I mean? They're connected. That's what the science in the vine is. So Islam to that, Noble.
Islam. Proceed, Noble. Gratitude.
From this emerges governments, common law. Common law emerged in England around 1100 AD during the Dark Ages, as the Europeans called it. In reality, it was during the Moorish rule of the lands of the Albion that, quote-unquote, deed law was being revealed unto their renaissance, and so as to lead the second half of the Kali age until it was over with. Now, I'm not familiar with the Kali age. Is anybody else?
No.
Okay.
Do some research.
Now remember how words written. Think hard about it, because that's homework. It's very when you find, you're gonna be like, oh, because they just told you. Yeah. You getting back to it. Think about California. Think about Queen Khalif. Start thinking about some things. Start thinking about overthrowing, and it'll guide you to the right area.
Common law was developed to resolve disputes over allodial land boundaries. It is the law of the land. Common law gave rise to the jury system and writs and processes which monarchies/governments have absorbed into their rulerships, and regulations and rules made into statutes and processes in courts. Common law is valid to the extent that it does not conflict with commercial law. From this, we get the 5 echelons hierarchical system of law. Deed law, or will of Allah, or the law of force. Natural law, commercial law, moral law, and the law of nations. A point of reference needs to be expressed for the adept Moorish thinker. The 5 hierarchy of law are in perfect oscillation with the 5 highest principles of law in Moorish jurisprudence: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Stop right there, Noble.
Hold on.
You go first. You go first, Malik.
So the Kali law has lasted for 432,000 years, right? And 1,200 divine years. Those are equivalently, synonymously the same. Okay, divine years versus lasting years. It began 5,123 years ago and has 427,877 years left as of 2022 CE, which is our current time. So we're still in it.
Understand what I be saying when I talk about laws, when people when I Malik, we got to that one didn't Noble. Didn't we always say we got to be careful when we get a little tittle or something, when somebody try to control your thinking? And I said, after all a person to say at the end of the day, they say you're going to need a true sheik from the temple that's going to be able to explain and create his own, which the prophet said. I ain't here to destroy nothing, but I said I created a school of thought for Moors. I'm a tribal leader to do things the right way, you know? So, gratitude for that, Nobles. Proceed.
So again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to make that point. I'm sorry. I didn't get to make that little statement. I'm sorry. Right there, when you read a point of reference needs to be expressed for the adapt Moorish thinker. For the adapt Moorish thinker. So when these brothers be like, I'm a scholar, I'm gonna adapt all this, man, come on. You must be under a certain auspice. You cannot say you adapt and say, oh, I don't read nothing but the Moorish Quran. That's just like a preacher saying a Christian say all I read is the Christian Bible. How you gonna have a conversation with a historian? You basing your understanding on the belief system. You're going to say, well, Jesus says. I ain't asked you that.
What do you know?
Do you understand what I'm saying, Nobles? We're talking about the adapt thinker. I said, don't let this fez fool you. On some Moors, the fez is a dunce hat.
Islam.
It's just what it is. Now, I ain't saying nobody's not a Moor. And you like to call them a dirty Moor. I say dumps Moors. Because we supposed to be operating on a higher science. This is for the Moors adapt thinkers. The hierarchy of law are in perfect oscillation with the 5 highest principles of law in Moorish jurisprudence. That's love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Proceed, Noble.
Number 1, love equals the will of law or the law of force. Number 2, truth is natural law. Number 3, peace is commercial law. Number 4, freedom is moral law. And number 5, justice.
No, I didn't cut you off. You know, those symbols in between truth and natural law, which is equivalent to greater than or equal to.
Come on, man. I was waiting for somebody to say, come on, Noble. Come on. Teach. Signs and symbols. Like I said, we got to look at the signs and symbols. Come on, Noble. Teach.
Gratitude.
Islam. I'll go back and do it again for clarity. Number 1, love is equal to will of Allah or the law of the force. Number 2, truth is greater than or equal to natural law. Number 3, peace is greater than or equal to commercial law. Number 4, freedom is greater than or equal to moral law. And number 5, justice is greater than or equal to the law of family / the law of nations.
Come on, man.
These 5 high principles are the source code of law for all civilizations which desire peace and can be expressed as a formula, source code formula, and or justice formula.
As a what, Noble? Wait, as a what? As a what? A formula, right?
I'll read that again. So.
Can I say something, Noble? I'm just excited. That's why I say, you can deal with truth because the truth is going to tell you. Like, what do I tell all of before you start with me? Get rid of everything except what?
Mathematics.
Okay. That came out didn't I? I said, I don't care what you think, what religion, because we ain't rock with. I said, get rid of everything you think when you rock with me except mathematics. Am I right in that statement or am I wrong?
Islam. You're right.
Okay.
Islam.
Okay.
Just want to interject real quick.
Yeah.
The movie Source Code makes a tremendous amount of sense now. There's a movie out called Source Code. If you actually pay attention to the movie, it makes a tremendous amount of sense now.
Yep.
So the source code formula and or the justice formula is love times truth and peace divided by freedom equals justice.
Come on, Noble.
Again, I'll read that again. The source code formula and or the justice formula is love times truth, peace divided by freedom equals justice. And brings deeper meaning to, quote unquote, He, Allah, has instituted laws for the governments of the world. Moorish Holy Quran, MSTA, chapter 35, verse 10. We shall discuss this in detail in book 7, in the 7-book series, sorry.
Keep going. We got time. Somebody else want to read?
Okay, okay.
If not, Noble, you can proceed. I'm enjoying this. I'm drinking my tea.
All right. Chapter 2, Chapter 2, commercial law. Because of its nature is the key that unlocks the doors and understanding its application and processes through state and government laws will give checkmate remedy in law. The principles and maxims and precepts of commercial law are eternal and unchangeable and unchanging. They are expressed in the Quran and Bible and it has remained unchanged for thousands of years, and it forms the underlying foundation for all law and governments in the world, the law of nations and everything that human civilization is built on. Understanding law at this level by these processes, nothing that is of an inferior state can overturn it or change it or abrogate it or meddle with it. It remains the fundamental source of authority and power and functional reality.
Come on, Noble.
There are 10 maxims of truth or precepts in commercial law. Does everybody know what abrogate means?
That's like falsifying almost.
Break it down, Noble.
Come on, Noble.
The floor is yours.
I'm gonna give you the correct
Go ahead.
definition. I don't want to misspeak.
No, you ain't. We in class. You can't misspeak on nothing. Your heart is pure, Noble.
Here we go. Abrogate, repel, or do away with a law, right, or formal agreement.
I hope they understand how deep where we going with this.
So I'll go back and so repeal, right? It can't repeal. Read that definition again.
It's to repeal or do away with, and then it's quote unquote a law, a right, or formal agreement.
A law or right and a formal agreement.
Or you can use the word invade.
Evade, yeah, like you can't evade it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't abrogate, you can't change, you can't evade.
Unbinding.
Okay, so I'll go back and read that sentence. Understanding law at this level by these processes, nothing that is of an inferior statute, and that's not even a law, it says statute, not law, can overturn it or change it or repeal, do anything with it, or meddle with it. It remains the fundamental source of authority and power and functional reality. There are 10 essential maxims of truth or precepts of law. Number 1, the first of these expressed in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, chapter 31, verse 3, cast not an evil eye on the goods of thy neighbor, let whatever is his property be sacred from thy touch. Or the Old Testament of the people of the book, Exodus 20:15, thou shalt not steal, which in terms of commercial law, quote unquote, a workman is worthy of his hire. And I didn't understand that until I read this. I think I didn't fully understand that. You know what I mean? How you cheat people out of it when you don't give them their just due.
What you say? Say that again, Noble.
I said I didn't quite fully understand, how you cheat people when you don't give them their just due.
Islam.
I just had that experience. I've always been a good tipper, right? When people give good service. But I really, me and my wife went out last night to eat sushi, and she was like, "Oh man, she deserves a good tip," because she wasn't into tipping. I just came from the tipping industry in my early days, was getting a job as a young adult, and Sport could attest to this, or Barclay could attest to this. But I'll always appreciate his service. But when she actually put the emphasis on it, it made it more overwhelmingly for gratification, because the lady gave awesome service, and I had to find her. I had to tell her before we left. I said, especially when my empress say something, like you was good. If she recognized it, I always recognize it because I've been in that type of thing.
Yeah.
So if she recognized it, I was like, oh yeah, let me find her and tell her. I gave her a nice little $20 tip, and I was like, hey, you were amazing.
Yep. And that's what we always talking about, man. Gratitude. It's like, why would we rather not, and we can rather? Why not?
And that goes for you too, Noble. You are amazing, and all you nobles on here.
Gratitude to all. That's why I said all. Gratitude to all y'all, man. We all come from the heart. Remember we always talk about no matter how much or how little. We ain't comparing what somebody have and what's so long. It's all going to the same place. And that's why I say when the heart is pure, man, a penny is just as good as a dollar.
Islam.
Proceed, Noble, with the teachers. This is great.
Number 2, the second maxim of commercial law is equity before the law, or more precisely, all are equal under the law, which can be expressed in the Quran, chapter 31, verse 5. Defame him not in his character, bear no false witness against him.
See, Noble?
Also in the divine constitution and bylaws, you have love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion, because Allah is love. So yes, it's in both places, in the Quran and in the divine constitution, and obviously as a maxim of law and in commercial law. So what this means, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, this is I mean, because this is all just self-reflective, but at the same time, so how can anybody dare to open their mouth against the prophet after reading any of this?
They haven't. That's Noble. That's why you just answered your question.
Because they don't understand.
You just answered your own question.
The analogy of pointing, why are you pointing at the log or the toothpick of mine when you got a log in yours? That's what people do.
Yes.
But that's why they won't be able to understand this. That's society. That's social media. That's all the distractions possible to keep you away from what we're learning right now.
Yes. Noble, we grown men, and you will get all these grown men to come with that goofy stuff, and you ask them where they studying that. Oh, I follow this person on. That's the problem.
Follow. I'm seeking.
We talk about grown men now.
But you're supposed to seek, not follow.
Come on.
There's a difference.
Big difference. That's why I said my people know my voice. It don't take a million of us. You know what I mean?
You know what? It really just summed up, seek and you shall find it out of the Bible. It really just summed it up right now, like Barclay just said. He didn't really understand something a second ago, right? About working to do his higher. He didn't completely understand it. And then right now, and this analogy is that you seek and you shall find. And it kind of like summed it up right there. Like, you're not supposed to be following nobody.
Nope.
You're supposed to be seeking and searching for your higher self.
Yep.
You.
Man, Noble, when I use analogies as a sensei, as a shaman, as a Sufi, or a sensei in martial arts, I'm teaching teachers. I'm not teaching students. Man, I told you, I love martial arts. I study the arts, all arts, because I ain't bringing up y'all teachers to go out in the world and your families to do this. To be teachers, to be divine nobles, not only around us, in our community. Ain't nothing wrong with a brotherhood and a guide and a map. We use GPS to go where we going. So we ain't going to honor that man and say this is what it is. We always had a guide and a map. And they made us take our eyes off our prophet, which our one-on-one say, that clothed in the flesh, that come from amongst you. We got to get out of that. And how can a man say he loved God or Allah he never seen, but hate man that he see every day, that's operating in that station of the great God within, that you can touch, that you've been dealing with for years, that ain't never changed, that ain't never folded, that never tried to hustle you, always standing strong on the truth, no matter if it clears a room or fill it up.
That what we talking about right now goes right into that our study. We're supposed to go over the 101s in the Quranic study guide. It really touches on all of that too. But within the first, 4 questions?
Yep. Yep.
It really touched on it, like big time.
Yes. It synchronizes.
And it actually gives some clarity about what people today say, I seen a ghost or a spirit, like what they see, but those are really called jinns.
Yep. Yep. Come on, man.
And I was watching this movie. I mean, there's a TV show, American Gods or something like that, and it had this dude. He was a jinn, and I wasn't understanding really what it was because of symbology and some of the homosexuality stuff that they was using. I was just like kind of unclear. But when it basically broke down what a jinn was, it takes shape of basically air, fire, all kind of different things. Air, fire. What else I write down here?
Fire, earth, air, river.
Yeah, but it takes shape of the humans or animals.
Yep.
It assumes capable of assuming humans or animals. But it's not telling you what its gender is. And so, and now it's very clear to me because you would see, it would appear to you as it would be a man in physical form, but it could have been a woman.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy. I mean, not crazy, but it makes sense now. That now that I watch the show and I'm looking at, that looked like a homosexuality act, but I didn't understand what a gin was. So now that I understand what a gin was, it takes on a whole different meaning. So
that's the awakening. That's the awareness and the consciousness. I will get this brief vignette that Kara Swan gave. It was stuck with me when you talk about awareness and consciousness, right? So it's like, when you come into a room, right now, if a plumber came into the room that you're in right now, he could already analyze and see where the water is ran from the curb in the house, where you need to go put your sink at, because that's where you need to get the thing from here, because you're doing boom. Now, when the painter come in the room, he's gonna say, well, this is eggshell white. This is not off white. They're gonna be able to break down everything that he is able to break down. He's an adept in that field. Now, if somebody else come in there and interior decorate, they're gonna know where to put the couch at, where it's more feasible to set up the arrangement and everything like that. What the whole point is, and to what your point you're making, Noble Malik, is that when you become aware, see, these all artisans came into this one same room, and because of their consciousness, because of their awareness of what they came in with, they're able to pinpoint different things. But the room hasn't changed. There's only one room, so the truth is one. The truth is one.
Come on, Noble.
They know what to see because they came in with it already. They conscious.
Islam.
Come on.
But you can't ask the painter where to plug the hole for the water because they don't know.
Come on, Noble. Come on, Noble. Do you understand what I'm? You understand what I'm? And don't it make sense?
Yeah.
Salam.
Proceed, Noble. Proceed. We gonna go to proceed a little bit. Islam, man. Man, I'm over here, bro. Yeah.
So what this means is Islam. What this means is commercial law being.
You cut off, Noble. Did Barclay cut off?
Yeah, I think so.
Of law is in commerce. Truth is sovereign.
Hey, Noble, you was disconnected. We didn't hear nothing you said, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll go back.
Yes, sir.
I'll go back. I'll go back again, and I'll go back to the previous. I'll just read that whole paragraph.
Gratitude.
The second maxim of commercial law is equality before the law, or more precisely, quote unquote, all are equal under the law, which can be expressed in the Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 31, verse 5, defame him not in his character, bear no false witness against him. Also in Act 3 of the Divine Constitution and bylaws, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion, because Allah is love. What this means is commercial law being founded on the unchanging principle of, quote unquote, the law, and natural law is binding on everyone, which naturally creates the moral law enforced by the nation/family, because it is binding on everyone's family and no one can escape it. The third maxim of law is, in commerce, truth is sovereign. Truth is sovereign, the law of the force. We can see this maxim, another maxim expressed in the Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the highest sovereign authority, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, the source code of the law or the government of the world, law of the family. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day, all are equal under the law. Through his workmen, Holy Prophet Noble Joe Ali. Amen. The divine and national principles of the nation state by the Father, The Moorish American prayer is also an affidavit. As the sovereign tells the truth, your word is your bond, aka covenants. When one is lost outside of his vine and fig tree, truth is not sovereign in commerce. Commerce meaning essentially every human action in inner relationships. And when the will of Allah is not sovereign, there will be no basis for anything. No basis for law and order, no basis for accountability. There will be no standards, no capacity to resolve anything, because it means anything goes, each man for himself, and nothing matters. Debased down to survival of the fittest. Money becomes one's God. So, in commerce, truth is sovereign. That was a mouthful.
Yeah, it's long. It's long.
You want me to read a little bit, Noble? You good?
I'm good. Yeah, I don't mind.
Proceed. Cause we gonna show a little bit, then we gonna get out of here. We're gonna show some pictures on here. We're gonna get out of here.
Okay. Fourth maxim of commercial law is truth is expressed in the form of an affidavit. In commerce, an affidavit must coexist and underlay and form the foundation and responsibility for any commercial transaction whatsoever. There can be no valid commercial transaction without someone taking the risk and putting his commercial honor on the line and stated that, quote unquote, this is true and correct and certain situation. When one issues an affidavit, you have engaged a two-edged sword. It cuts both ways. This affidavit may be a claim or bill that you send out to someone in due form, and it must say that they owe you something, some money or something. Someone has got to take responsibility for saying, in fact, that this is a real situation and this why it's a real situation. A, in commerce, if someone sends you a bill or assessment or something of this kind, they have tabulated the goods or service they have provided for you with the amount of each in a booking ledger. They total it at the bottom, and this is the total amount you owe. This called a quote unquote true bill of commerce.
Hey, Noble, stop right there. I don't want to laugh, but when nobody talk about, oh, I don't do this, I don't need no. Anytime you buy something, aren't you getting at what you just explained?
Yeah. Every time you do
okay.
Basically.
Okay. You see how these dudes, when I be telling these dudes, I said, you are doing commerce. What is you talking about? You spending money. You got tennis shoes on your feet. You went and got some groceries.
I think this also speaks to why you say that when they use the AA222 number incorrectly in commerce, you know what I mean, that they commit fraud.
Yes. That's why I said they'll let you do this stuff. It's a thing in the street game they call it PFI, pending further investigation. Just like when people be talking that expatriation from the de facto government and don't even know in all totality what that means. Confused. And we don't get it. So you're right, Noble. You're absolutely right.
Okay. Unless there is a commercial affidavit that is proper commercial paperwork with someone taking responsibility, there is no valid commercial transaction.
So
when you issue.
So
go ahead.
So you see what I be saying when people try to defend something and they say you already win the contract and you win the contract as a willing obligor and get on the internet and talk all that goofy stuff, but you know all this stuff today and you go in things as a willing obligor. You lost.
All right. B, when you issue an affidavit in commerce, you get the power of the affidavit. You also incur the liability because there has to be a real situation. Other people might be adversely affected by it. They may depend on it and go out and start factories or borrow money that they may think they have a true bill and have to send money. Someone now is gaining as a result of the affidavit. C, affidavits change things in ways you could affect others. Means whoever issued an affidavit in commerce has the liability for the veracity. And if what you say in your affidavit is in fact not true, then those who are adversely affected can come back to you with a claim for recourse that is justifiable because you lied. You have told a falsehood as though it were the truth. people have depended on it and they have lost because of it. So
Now
can I
stop
ask a
right there.
question?
Yep, but remember I say a lot of these more is getting fraudulent concealed.
Now this also goes to the videos you were talking about. You were showing just the other day, right, on the Instagram. You mean about those people going after, or those lawyers that were going after the car company for illegally passing on finance charges to individuals under the auspice of something that they have to take on as a responsibility.
Yep.
When they know that that's not true.
Yep. Yep.
And this right here just says when people go into anybody issues an affidavit and willingly is not true within that affidavit, there then provides the remedy for you to come back and address.
Yep. And then you ask for all the paperwork. That's it. And they don't want to do that. But you got to be willing to go through the work. And that's what I tell people. It's more than just sending an email. It's some work that need to be done. And if you're willing to do it, yes, that's a fact. That's in elementary consumer law.
Man, okay. Again, the fifth maxim of commercial law is an unrebutted affidavit stands as a truth in commerce, meaning claims are made. If they go unchallenged, they emerge as a truth in the matter. A thought regarding there is a presumption in commerce that Asiatic people are Negroes, black persons, a second-class citizen, which is like saying a stateless person or refugee. And if this is affirmed by the Asiatic through his words, deeds, and actions in ignorance of the law of family, this is no excuse. And if unrebutted, the affidavit, the birth certificate that states that such a shameful and notorious deficit, then he, she are subject to that status, right? The prophet makes a plea to the nations Friday, November 1928. An affidavit of proclamation, nationality issued by the duly qualified and verified and appointed and anointed and consecrated sheep of More Shine's Temple of America can rebut a presumption in law.
Stop right there. So go back what I just now remember. Now, come on. I don't be making this stuff up. When people be saying they More Science Temple of America, I say I get that, but don't just make nothing up. It's only one. And so, and all them old people that's no disrespect, that's making all this other stuff and going with all these other things. I bet you when you hear them talk, they're gonna say, "Yep, you're right. You're gonna need a sheik that got his own brotherhood from the temple because he's able, he's credible." Especially if you're a scholar and educator, you should want that.
Islam.
So I'll read that sentence again. An affidavit of proclamation of nationality issued by a duly qualified and verified, appointed and anointed and consecrated sheik of the More Science Temple of America can rebut such a presumption in law. This goes back to the claim of the child, replace the birth certificate as well. By you proclaiming your nationality and religion and allegiance to the divine national principles in a public meeting among the political community, and the declaration is made, such a declaration is the first affidavit to be used with others to repudiate such prima facie evidence. Does everybody know what repudiate means?
It's like the, hold on. Repudiate. Let me read this sentence again.
Always the words you don't know, you gotta research because those mean things.
I give you a quick definition, which is to reject the validity or authority of, to reject emphatically as unfounded, untrue, or unjust, to refuse to recognize.
That's like arbitrary, isn't it, Noble Barclay?
Yeah.
See? You see how words be synonymous when you know the law? When you like, wait, I ain't here. No, you can't arbitrarily explain who I am. I'm going to tell you. Exactly. I'm going to tell you my affiliation. And I'm going to tell you who my tribal leader, period. I'm going to tell you what I'm part of. You can look it up. This is what it is. My religious rights protect me. I hope we understand that.
Islam, that goes back to the law of family.
Yes. Yes. You can be adopted in families. Come on. We don't get it. Legal and lawfully, we doing things. You adopted it. This birthright, like, come on, like, read the religious rights of the indigenous people, please. Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. Proceed, Noble, because we'll be done. Because we got to do part 2.
Maximum of commercial law is an unrebutted affidavit becomes judgment in commerce, meaning there is nothing left to resolve. See our authority back at the 101.
Mm-hmm.
7. The 7th maxim in commercial law is in commerce, for any matter to be resolved, it must be expressed, the science of proclamation. But this is a new era of time, and all men must now proclaim their free national name in the government in which you live and the nations of the earth. This means no one is a mind reader. You have to put your position on the line. You have to state what the issue is to have something resolved.
Can I stop right there, Noble? Because we got to clear people up. And they say I'm saying, if I'm right, just say Islam. If I'm wrong, say Noble. Can you clear that up a little bit? You don't go down to no damn DMV talk about you going down here to change your name. Islam?
Islam.
Because you ain't changing no name. You can correct a mistake or a misspelling, which is a mispronunciation. And you ain't got to make no special appearance. When it's time for you can just sign the paper and get it done if you care that much.
Islam.
Okay. I want us to understand that. You're not changing nothing. You are annexing. You are annexing, which is your right, which is Resolution 75. Read that. The Constitution is law. Read it. We are defending the Constitution. You have the right to do all these things I'm saying. And probably in your state, they already had the proclamation signed that you are Moors and what you have the right in 2012. That's why I tell all the Grand Sheiks, if your state and your city don't recognize your Moors legacy and you a Sheik, that should be your main mission.
Mm-hmm.
You should be smiling with the mayor with the proclamation up, just like the prophet did back in the day, just like all the Moors did in 2012. Proceed, Noble.
Number 8 maxim. There is an ancient principle in Mosaic law or Canaanite law that whosoever leaves the battlefield first loses by default. In commerce, it is that an affidavit which is unrebutted point for point by another affidavit stands as truth in commerce because it hasn't been rebutted, which leads to the 8th maxim of commercial law.
Did you hear what that said, Noble? Read that again. And when people be getting letters and they say that, and they don't respond to them or defend themselves and with the law, that means you owe, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
On the phone the other day.
Okay. I just be telling people, they be like, oh, well, I said, winning the contract, you do, oh, well, this ain't my name. I said, that ain't your defense, goofy. My name is Calvin, that ain't me. Man, bye.
All right.
You see?
So I'll read it again. In commerce, it is that an affidavit which is unrebutted point for point by another affidavit, which means you have to respond, and address each of the quote unquote allegations or claims that are made against you. Stands as truth in commerce because it has been rebutted, because it hasn't been rebutted, which leads to the 8th maxim of commercial law, which is he who leaves the battlefield first loses by default. Governments of all the laws and processes is to resolve disputes and to resolve conflicts between affidavits of truth. The 9th maxim of commercial law is sacrifice is the measure of credibility. No willingness to sacrifice, no liability, responsibility, authority, or measure of conviction. It's simply saying if you're not going to do nothing, then,
yeah,
you don't get nothing.
Yeah. That's just like all these people been getting hustled. When I be showing you all this stuff, these consumer hustles, when talking about all these home jobs and I'm in Nigeria and I can't cash this check. I just need you to cash this and send me this. All that, all that fraudulent stuff. And like somebody like you owe somebody. You don't owe nobody nothing. I'm just getting your head wrapped around the fraudulent things that men and women do to keep you on a lawful level. Islam?
Islam. Number 10. The 10th maxim of commercial law, a lien or claim can be satisfied only through rebuttal by affidavit, point for point, resolution by jury, and or payment.
Boom. So go down. I want to show that picture, y'all, of when I talk about, when Moors talk about the fez and they be afraid to wear their fez everywhere. And I say, the law says you can wear your fez. Go back down. Go back. I want to read that a little bit too. Go back up. When I say you can wear your fez in court, in the military, and on the job, if you're working with heavy machinery, they just probably don't want you to wear a fez. I mean, a tassel, which is understandable. But you should know the precedent in law case. A Mohammedan couple is seeking to restrain the Pittsburgh School District from requiring the couple's 4 children to attend public school on Friday, a Mohammedan holy day. Mr. and Mrs. Stevenson Bay petitioned the U.S. District Court yesterday to allow them to keep their children, Tariq Robert, 10, Nathaniel, 11, and Stone, 15, out of classes on Friday in order to give them instruction at home on the Quran and the Moorish American prayers. The Bays contended in their suit that the Pennsylvania school code is unconstitutional because it denies the children rights to religious freedom and worship. The suit asserted the subject of the Mohammedan holy day has been in dispute in the Pittsburgh School District for 22 years. Go up. So after reading the book 1, okay, I don't want you to read that. Keep going up. Keep going up. I want to get in chapter 3. I want to show these pictures and we out of here. I want to show something. Because we have to go back to all that teaching. Keep going, Noble. Keep going. All our documents, we're going to go there. I just want to show a picture. Pass all that. It should be talking about like how the fez is not a hat. I want to get to that part. I don't know if people read that, but I want to show that and we out of here. Let me see. Is that it? Let me see. Go back. Let me see. Bronx court recognized Muslim Sabbath rule pupils not go to school Fridays. Okay, that was one when they had to prove that they have to go to school on Fridays. Keep going up. I just want to show this point, this picture, in the newspaper. It's a lot of stuff, man. I start showing y'all like in the newspaper where how a lot of mayors and stuff became mayors because not only the prophet and the members of the temple, these in local communities, man. You want your people in those positions. Okay, go back down. I want to read that. Go back down. Go back down. Go back, yeah. So this is like when people be saying memes and things, and when I say I show the letters and the documents where a lot of stuff come from, when it says if we are agreed to take the fezzes and turbans off the Moors' heads and move the sandals from their feet and enforce severe punishments, and to also swear a death oath between ourselves to religiously and faithfully not allow anyone to teach the Moorish children who they really were or who their forefathers were, and only allow the Moorish children to be taught that they were truly Negroes, black people, and colored folks. 200 years from today, the Moorish people would not know their nationality nor the national name of their forefathers. Also, they would not know from which land or ancestors they are descended from. Now, I tell people if that's just a meme, that's a cold ass meme, ain't it, to say, ain't it?
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it's true. Now I can show you in documents, in government documents, a little bit of that is said in there, which is true.
Well, you know why they said that, or he said that, right? Is because they castrated him, so he was angry. Yeah,
I'm telling you, we'll start showing a lot of stuff out, man. Keep going up, Noble. I want to get to it because I know we've been an hour and I want to get out of here. This is the letter.
Page 47, I think.
Okay.
Then we'll skip up to about page 47.
Gratitude, Noble.
Of the PDF 47 or 70. It may have, let me see if it has a page 46 actually. It'll have 46 in the bottom right corner.
We're gonna be out of here.
It's on there. It's in there.
Bam! Boom, 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 bop, 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 bop. This is what I wanted to end with, Nobles. This is what I wanted to end with. My mama, you crazy. Fez, no hat. And so it may be worn in court. You hear me? Islam Morris?
Islam.
Chief Justice William M. I can't really see it all. Is it Maltby? I might be pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, Maltby.
Of the Supreme Court of Errors held today that the Fez religious symbol, that the Fez religious symbol and national costume of the Moors, not no costume regalia, I like to use the proper verbiage, the national regalia of the Moors is not a hat and may be worn in court without a show of disrespect. Permission for Moors to wear the Fez in court was sought by Grand Sheik F. Turner L. of the Moorish Diplomat Service in an interview with the state officials. Can you go up a little bit? Chief Justice Malaby sent a communication to all courts of the state today, clarifying the situation which arose when a Moorish adherent was asked to remove his hat in Hartford Police Court. Huh? That's all the way then. And I gave y'all laws cases with all over where you can wear your fez in court, your turban, all that to work, everything. Hell, if the Indian wear his turban, the Jew wear his yarmulke, the Islam wear his kufi. What you scared of? Right?
Islam.
Is that all of it? That's it, Noble?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to make that statement, man, and that's it for class. But law governs all events. We're gonna make that a series, man. Like I said, tomorrow we're gonna go over our Moorish Quran, chapter 3 and 4 in Sunday school, and we're gonna synchronize it with our Quranic study guide. Any questions, Morris? Gratitude to everybody on YouTube. Anybody else on here? Got questions, Nobles?
That was a powerful teaching.
Gratitude, man. Gratitude. I challenge us, like I said, man, I'm a teacher, and I love going stuff over and over and over because I can teach in a plethora of ways. So that's what this Moorish science is here to do, man. We're here to learn, educate, build something, put our time, effort, energy, and donate to something that was real. And don't just sit on the background. So I give gratitude to all y'all nobles, man. And like I said, we don't have any questions. Is there anything? Like I said, please study that Moorish Quran, nobles.
Is anybody on the live? Do they have a question?
I don't know. I'll leave it on here for a minute. I'll leave it on here for a minute and see. But I love y'all nobles, man. Like I said, it's nothing secret with us, man. It's sacred. And we're here to teach the truth. And the truth will make you free. But the divine comes first with me. And y'all know that. The divine comes first with me. I don't care. Nobody can do nothing for me. I can't be bought. The divine comes first with me, man. I deal with the heart, period. And I operate as a family man. Y'all know what I operate. All the nobles that have been around me personally, I wish all my nobles come visit and take a trip. I house you. And my house is a ball of energy. Like
it's worth the trip. I'm trying to tell y'all. I done did it a couple times. It's worth it, y'all.
I mean, this what we're here to do, man. We're here to build and to reach the right brothers, and it's okay if brothers, don't understand yet. It's still love. That's what this is all about. It's all love. Everything we do it in love. But I love y'all, man. Like I said, no questions, nobles. I said I'm gonna leave it on here live on YouTube for 2 more minutes because I like to leave it open. Like I said, if anybody want to contact the school, it's bbtsciencetemple.com. Please. If you're looking for books that's super expensive on Amazon and all that, we have our own bookstore. It's called mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z. And you can download all your expensive books on your tablet or send them to Office Max or Staples, and they can bind them and print them. If you want your Moorish American fez, your turban, etc., check our business page at moorishhaberdasher.com. So with that being said, man, I love y'all. Can we do our Moorish American prayer and our benediction, nobles?
Divine. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen, Ashe, Islamism, Ash'ar, Ashe, Ashe.
Noble Alonzo, can you hit us with that benediction and send us off?
Islam.
Gratitude.
May the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou shouldst strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine acts of love upon thy brethren, and do the best to shun thine evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that you might nourish the souls of men. Let truth be the shield in thy manifest battle of falsehood. Know that Moors need not to pick the lock to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft, for behold, the key to salvation already rests within thine own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there still is the greater part of our nature, that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting peace. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Haq, Ya Muhammad. Islam, Ashe, peace, peace, peace,
Love
peace,
y'all.
peace, 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 peace.
Hey, I got a quick riddle for y'all, right?
All right. Okay.
So they say it's 99 beautiful names of Allah, right?
All right.
Right.
It's 100, right?
Right. Because Allah is one of them.
Ding, 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 ding. Barclay, you get a free gift in the mail. You get it. Ding, 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 ding. Bam, bam, all the joke. But yeah, Noble.
And I had the screamers falling down, all the balloons.
So Noble, you will receive once you send me a Empress head for her turban. For her fez, I send you a long turban, one of them long ones and I'll show you. We'll wrap it together. But you're gonna love how to wrap them long ones, man. You're gonna be like, oh, I love these better. Well, not better than the she mask, because I love the she mask too. But when you learn how to wrap them 4-yard turbans, it's gonna look real good. And then you can cut them a little bit too in different pieces, and you can wrap them around your turban. Around your fez. And I'm gonna send everybody one, man, because we're gonna do a class.
Yeah, I gotta buy one of those the Fez liners. I need that liner.
Yeah, I'm ordering my dad a carrying case and everything. Yeah, me too. I had to get me a carrying case and all that stuff, man. So yeah, we should keep our feathers looking good. But gratitude to all y'all, man. It was a great day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I will be available for our Monday manifest. It'll be led by Noble Barclay. So I will be there, man, in gratitude. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Islam. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Recording stopped.
And peace and love to everybody, man, on here on YouTube. I give you all gratitude for joining us today in our Sunday school. We ran an audible. But I give you gratitude. No, today's Saturday, ain't it? Saturday. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow is Sunday. So please join us for Sunday school. Please subscribe to our Temple and School page on Instagram, Morris. Burning Bush Tabernacle.ts on Instagram. And I'm trying to get everybody to join us privately on Zoom so we can leave all this alone and we can just deal with those that's real serious. We use these platforms to go public to be private. So I'm casting my net out and trying to wheel brothers and sisters in. There's nothing wrong with, and I teaching and I small donations, and I give you much literature. So check out mypdfbooks.com with the Z. And every time you're on here, if you give a donation, you send me your email with that donation. If you do Cash App, I send you literature. So I love y'all. We're trying to educate the world with this science. I see y'all tomorrow for Sunday school. What is this? February what, Mom? The end of February? I challenge y'all to get with me, man, because we all going back privately on Zoom. All the teachers will be on Zoom. So please hit me up. I want all y'all to join us privately on Zoom. So look in your heart to see if it's on you to donate $10 or $20 once a week. If you have it on your heart, I don't care if you have $5. If that's all you have, I'm going to bless you. And I want you to come join and listen and come to school. So with that being said, man, a workman is due his hire. I love y'all. Peace, light, and illumination, and Islam.